welcome to class, where we'll be moving it through some feel-good movements that are a nice supplement to either warm the body up or cool the body down after any other form of exercise or mobility that you may be doing day to day. So whether that's running, hiking, biking, anything like that, this class is meant to supplement that in one way or the other. So no props are required, just you and your space to practice. And whenever you have that, go ahead and meet me on your backs. That's where we're gonna get started for today. So go ahead, come onto your mat, feet flat, knees bent. Maybe take a pause before rolling all the way down onto your backs. Maybe walk the feet in a little bit closer towards your bottom, bringing your feet wide along the edges of the mat and allowing the knees to knock together. So not coming into a full rest or shavasana to get started, more constructive. And allow the hands to rest on the chest, on the belly, to come right into your breath. Whether you're taking this class right before or right after, it's good to bring the focus inward right away, to bring the attention to the breath. Bringing more space, more expansion with every inhale. And trying to clear out all of that stale air with every exhale. Really clearing the body out. Sometimes when we're doing different forms of movement, things that are more high energy, we may forget about the breath. Might become more restrictive. Might be using a little more muscles, maybe in the shoulders and the neck. Whether it's required or it's more than we intend. So it's good to take this opportunity, this moment, to really find that expansion, that movement, that directed focus to the rib cage. Really filling up the nice juicy parts of the lungs. Opening those spaces between each individual rib. Really using that diaphragm to help fill and empty all the way through every little nook and cranny of the lungs. About 2 or 3 more breaths here. And then go ahead and bring the arms out nice and wide into a capital T. Bring the knees away from one another. Maybe wiggle them in just slightly, but still keeping them wide. And then go ahead and allow the knees to drop over towards the right, keeping the shoulders, the upper part of the back, grounded onto your mat. Inhale back through center, slight engagement of the core, and then exhale, everything falls over towards the left. Inhale back through center, exhale to the right. And I'm going to have you move at your own pace. So whether you want to linger here or flow side to side, loosen things up, move at a pace that feels good for you. Whether you want to work more into the hips, like driving that top knee down towards the top corner of the mat. Or you want to just loosen up the low back and find some rhythmic motion side to side. Maybe not your deepest expression. Just find this movement for another breath or so, and then once you feel like you've evened out side to side, go ahead and find your way back to center. When you find your way there, go ahead and bring your feet now hips width apart, and then go ahead and bring the right knee in towards the chest, towards the right armpit, and then extend the left leg long if that's comfortable for you. And then as you bring the right knee in, feel free to find some circles to start. Trying to loosen up that hip. Give yourself the opportunity to allow those hip flexors to relax. So if you feel a lot of tension, a lot of compression, bringing that knee in towards the chest, try to bring that knee a little bit wider, open that hip up a little bit more, give yourself some space. So that might mean grabbing hold just below the right knee, just below the knee, and just below or just above the ankle. So you're grabbing hold of the shin in its entirety. That might be helpful to turn that knee out a little bit more. And then grab hold below the knee with that left hand, right arm into that capital T, and then bring the right knee over towards the left, find a gentle twist. Gentle reach of the right arm towards the right side. And then a gentle lift, maybe a gentle pull the left knee or the right knee over towards the left. So you're feeling that gentle tension through that twist as you reach in opposite directions and twist through the belly, keeping that right shoulder anchored down. That knee is likely floating off from the earth, and that's okay. Support it with your hand as you need. And then go ahead and come back through center. Right foot comes down onto the floor, and then bring the left foot up to meet the right. Go ahead and switch sides. So bring that left knee in towards the chest. Hug it in before extending that right leg long. Feel the opening of that right hip. And then feel free to find some gentle circles within the left hip. And that left hip flexor might want to turn on. So finding that deeper compression might feel uncomfortable. So let that knee come away from your body. See if you can find some relaxation that way. And then again, if you maybe opening the hip might feel a little bit more comfortable. So grabbing hold below the knee, above the ankle, grabbing hold of that shin, and maybe turning the left knee out. Ankle in towards the midline of your body. That opening might bring a little bit more comfort into that shape. And then go ahead and grab hold of the shin with that right hand. Left hand, capital T. Left knee over towards the right, find a gentle twist. Trying to keep that left shoulder anchored as you twist through the belly. Trying to find a nice long line through the left thigh bone. As you guide the knee over towards that right side, left fingertips reaching over towards the left. So every inhale, you're keeping that length, and every exhale, you're settling into your space without force, only with ease. Inhale back towards center. Left foot comes down to the earth, right foot meets it, bring it back up. And then go ahead and bring the knees in towards the chest. The thighs don't have to be together to touch, they can stay wide alongside the body. And just rock side to side. And then go ahead, find your center. Go ahead and grab the outer blades of both feet. And then bring the feet towards the sky. Come into happy baby. Not forcing any particular depth. Just allow your body to hang out here. You don't have to pull on the soles of the feet to bring those hips deeper. Just allow your body to be where it's at. Go ahead and bring the knees back in towards the chest. And whether you rock and roll up there or just slowly fall to the side, find a seat, however you'd like to get there, we're going to find a forward fold at the top of the mat. So whether you want to build some energy and rock up and down, or you're feeling a little bit slower, a little bit more casual, you can roll onto the side, find your way to a seat, and slowly make your way there. But within the next breath or so, we're finding that forward fold. And as we find that space, keep a soft bend in the knees. Allow your torso to fall heavy over the thighs, and allow yourself to explore the length within the back line of the legs. In a space that's more comfortable on the hips, on the knees. And what that bend in the knees allows you to do is lift the sit bones, the tailbone up towards the sky. That movement becomes a little bit more accessible. And so rather than feeling all the pressure in the backs of the knees, you feel a little bit more so into the thighs. Fingertips come down to the earth. Allow the head to hang heavy. And maybe with more time spent here, you find a little bit more length within the back line of the legs. Maybe those knees go closer toward the direction of straight. But again, we're still keeping them on the softer side. Go ahead and plant the right hand. Find a deeper bend in the right knee as that left leg straightens a little bit more. The left arm is going to open up towards the sky, twisting towards the left. Reaching those left fingertips up nice and tall. Stay engaged to the heel of the right hand to keep your body lifted. Exhale, come back to that fold. Left hand plants deeper bend in the left knee as you straighten through the right. Open the right arm towards the right and towards the sky as you twist your chest open. Collarbones are trying to stack on top of one another. Pressing through the heel of the left hand to help with that twist, to help with that opening. Exhale, fold. Both hands come down to the earth, deeper bend in the knees. Drop the hips and slowly roll the body up towards standing. As the knees start to straighten, you press the hips forward, you start to unravel the spine. Until the chest and heart shines forward, gaze lifts. Finish that inhale by reaching the arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. Grab hold of that left wrist, reach nice and tall, release, lengthen out through the sides of the body, through the armpits. And then exhale, side body stretch over towards the right, open through the left. Really find that expansion, bump the left rib cage over towards the left side of the room. If this feels a little bit uncomfortable on the back, if you feel like you can't really move into this shape, bend the knees, curtsy that left leg behind the right, and open up a little bit more through the hip. You might find a little bit more comfort here in this shape. Inhale back through center. On that inhale, grab hold of the right wrist, reach up towards the sky. Scoop the tailbone underneath you. And then side body stretch on that exhale over towards the left. Again, if you feel like you can't get that deep into this space, bend the knees, curtsy the right leg behind the left. Reach that right foot over into that space. Bump the hips over towards the right, the rib cage over towards the right as you reach the arms over towards the left. Open into that space. Inhale back through center. Reach up tall, exhale, hands through heart center. Inhale, sweep the arms down and around, create a big shape around yourself. Reach the fingertips up tall. And then exhale, hands to heart center, hinge of the hips, forward fold. Hands come down to the earth. Find that fold, that compression between thighs and torso. And then inhale, find a halfway lift. Engage the back line of the body, reach the hips back in space. Exhale, hands come down to the earth. Step the left foot back, the right foot back. Pause in a high plank. Really integrate in the shape, pulling the chest and heart forward, dragging the shoulder blades down the back body, staying lifted in the low belly, engaged within the hips, driving the heels back in space. Feel everything turn on, feel that integration. And then exhale, send the hips up and back, downward facing dog. And then as you get right into this shape, feel free to shift your weight side to side. That includes the hands, the legs, the feet. Pedaling through the feet allows you to work through the back line of the legs, through the hips, shaking the hips side to side. Just shifting your weight through the hands allows you to work your way through the shoulders, the mid-back, the upper back. So don't leave anything out. Take this time, this opportunity to just work through the entirety of the body. And on your next breath, settle in. On your next inhale, right leg lifts back behind you in any capacity. And then exhale, soften the left knee. Drive the right knee towards that right elbow to bring the right foot outside the right hand. Shift your weight forward and back. Right away. This weight shift's gonna allow you to find some space, some depth within the hips in this nice wide stance. Trying to keep that left hip point down. Shift forward and back over the big toe, and then driving that left heel back behind you. Then go ahead and drop the back knee. Plant the left hand. Untuck the back toes. So top of the foot is now on the mat. And then go ahead and bring your right hand towards that right knee, and then gently press that right knee open, coming onto the outer blade of the right foot. Keep a subtle engagement of the low belly, so you're not really letting the low belly fall entirely here. You want to keep it engaged in some capacity, so we can focus on opening that right hip. Maybe spinning the chest over towards the right. And then on the next exhale, plant the right foot. Right hand comes back down to the mat, send the hips back, coming into Ardha Hanuman, half splits pose. Right toes come towards the sky, sit the hips back. That right knee stays bent as we work our way into the back line of that right leg. Lifting the tailbone, the sit bones back behind you to help find a little bit more length in that space. Chest and heart reaches forward. Plant the right foot, plant the hands, tuck the back toes, lift the back knee. The right foot goes back to meet the left, pause in high plank, and then exhale, downward facing dog. Next side, inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, soft bend in the right knee as the left knee drives to left elbow. Plant the foot outside the hand and work your way forward and back into that low lunge. That left knee can splay out, it can hug in. Whatever space you'd like to or need to explore. You can stay high up onto the fingertips so you're staying nice and long within the spine. Shifting over that big toe and then driving heavy into that right heel. Staying lifted within the low belly so you can stay nice and strong and supported in the low back. And then go ahead and drop the back knee straight down so you have a nice long line of energy through the front of the right thigh. Untuck the back toes so the top of the foot is now on the mat. Plant the right hand for support. And then go ahead and bring the left hand to the inner lining of that left knee. Gentle press out and open as you come onto the outer blade of the left foot. And stay strong within that left ankle. Don't let it collapse in. And again, gentle lift of the low belly so we're staying supported in our shape. Feel free to rock back and forth into that left knee or into that left hip as you feel like you need. Feel free to explore. And then go ahead and bring the sole of the left foot back down to the earth. Left hand meets the right. And then go ahead and sit the hips back. Ardha Hanuman half splits pose. Send the hips back in space. Keep the chest nice and lifted. Again, soft bend in that left knee. Gentle squaring off of the hips. Reaching back at the tailbone. Slow and steady breath. Come back into the left foot. Tuck the back toes. Plant the hands, lift the back knee. Left foot comes back to meet the right high plank and pause. And then go ahead nice and slow, roll over the tops of the big toes. Slowly allow the hips to fall. Once you feel the knees come onto the earth, go ahead and untuck the toes. Press through the tops of the feet. Engage the glutes, drop the hips, opening up into upward facing dog. If you want to find a high cobra, if you want to relax the legs and do that instead, feel free. Or if you want to find a little bit of engagement, lifting the thighs, engaging the thighs, lifting the knees off the earth. Allowing the hips to open, finding a little symmetry here. Drop the knees, tuck the toes, send the hips back in space, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, drive the right knee, right elbow. Left ankle comes over, right ankle comes over towards the left side, trying to bring the shin parallel-ish towards the top of the mat. And then slowly drop the back knee, walk those left toes back in space, trying to find a pigeon pose. Now, if coming into this shape is excessive, we have a few options here. 1, feel free to come into this shape rather than shin parallel. Right heel comes in towards the inner lining of the left thigh, the inner groin on that left side. Option 1. Option 2, keep that right shin parallel if it's comfortable on that front knee. If it's comfortable on that front knee, left leg doesn't stay extended back, comes into more of a 90-90 shape. And we work into the space this way. That's option 2. If being upright at all just isn't calling you today, go ahead. Swing that left leg forward. And go ahead and cross the right ankle over top the left thigh. We have that space as well. And here you can adjust as you need by scooching the hands closer to the backs of your hips. Scooching your hips closer to that front heel. You can always kind of accordion your shape together. That's also an option. Or if we'd like to come all the way down onto our backs, still keeping that figure 4 shape, that parallel shin, and then bringing the left knee in towards your chest, finding your shape in that capacity. Again, options are all available. So go ahead and take a moment, explore what feels good for you. Decide whether you'd like to stay upright or if you'd like to come onto your back or into a seated position. Wherever you are, allow it to be a space that provides a challenge that's comforting for you, that you're able to maintain. We're not going to be here for an incredible amount of time, but enough to feel the depth, the intensity of the stretch, of the space you're creating. If you're an upright pigeon, or if you're in that 90-90, you can always fold over that front shin. In whatever space you are, keeping that right hip open by driving that right knee down, the outer edge of that right knee down, or towards the top right corner of your mat. Feel a little activation, a little engagement in this space. And wherever you moved to, go ahead and unravel. If you're on your back, if you took a reclined or seated position, feel free to windshield wiper the hips side to side. If you took an upright pigeon, go ahead and take a moment in downward facing dog. And then go ahead and switching sides. So if you came from downward facing dog, driving left knee, left elbow, bringing the ankle over towards the right, dropping the back knee, walking those right toes back in space to help explore your depth with control. Options again here, staying in the full expression by bringing that shin parallel towards the top of the mat. Staying here. If that's too intense, bringing that left heel in towards your inner groin. Takes the intensity out of the knee, takes the depth of that rotation away just a pinch. Or if you'd like to keep working into that parallel shin, bring the right knee in, come into 90-90. Explore your space in that capacity. That was option 2. If you want to stay seated, but stay upright, swing that right foot forward, kickstand the arms back behind you, left ankle crosses over the right shin. Take this shape. Again, you can accordion yourself to explore the depth here. So the more closed off you make your shape, the more depth that you'll be able to find. And then if staying upright is too much on the wrists, on the elbows, on the upper body, you come all the way down, onto your elbows, onto your back. Find that reclined pigeon to start, and then bring the right knee in towards the chest, clasping your hands just below the right knee, and you explore your space here. All options, all valid, all working into the same space with an intensity, with components that fit your needs here in this moment. It's always helpful to know that those options are out there. And knowing that if this posture shows up at any time in any of your classes, at any point in your practice, and it is too much to maintain, to access, and you don't have props available to soften your shape, know that no matter where you are practicing, that all of those options are always available. Super important to know that these postures have their variations, they have their modifications, all are valid. And if you're in either that 90-90 or that upright shape, know that you can always tilt the torso over that front shin to explore a little bit more depth, a different sensation. And coming back into your breath. No longer holds anything with greater intensity. Usually sends our body into a space where we like to hold our breath, thinking that's going to allow us to concentrate. But bringing the attention back to the breaths allows for that relaxation, allows for other parts of the body that might be contributing and don't need to. It gives you the opportunity to relax those spaces. Whatever shape you moved into, if you're upright, you can find your way into a downward facing dog to recalibrate, or you can find some windshield wipers if you're on your back. Just unraveling your shape, whatever counter feels good for you. If you're in downward facing dog, go ahead and drop your knees. Find your way onto your sit bones. If you're on your backs, stay there. We're going to meet you there. Rolling nice and slow onto your backs. And we're just going to find a gentle twist. We're going to find a twist on our backs here. So go ahead and cross that right ankle over the left knee. A shape that is familiar if you took reclined pigeon. And you're going to allow your shape to fall over towards the left. Right arm into a capital T. You're grabbing hold of that right ankle with the left hand. And this is a great twist to not only incorporate the spine in a nice subtle way, but continue to work your way in towards your hips. Go ahead and inhale back towards center. Drop the right foot. Switching sides. Left ankle crosses over right shin, or right thigh. Grab hold of that ankle with the right hand. Left arm capital T. Everything falls over towards the right with control. Twisting through the belly. Upper body, the shoulders, upper back, everything stays connected. Keeping that left knee up towards the sky, maybe even a gentle drive towards the top right corner of the mat to keep that hip nice and open. Keeping that left side body nice and long. And then go ahead and inhale back towards center. Left foot meets the right. And bring those heels in towards your bottom. Reach your fingertips. Maybe you can tickle the heels. And then that will mean that you are in a nice shape here to prepare for bridge pose. So arms are alongside your body. Scoop those hip points, that tailbone underneath you, so that your back is flat against the mat. Gentle engagement of the core. And from here, press through the soles of your feet, maybe a little bit through the palms as you lift the hips up towards the sky. Squeezing the glutes to open the front of the body here. Keeping those knees reaching towards the top of the mat. Keeping that tailbone scooped underneath you. Hanging out here for 5, for 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down, rolling the spine one vertebrae at a time until the low back lowers, the hips lower. And then go ahead and extend the legs out nice and long. Feel free to rock the hips or the legs in and out. Maybe shake them out a little bit. And then find your way into your Shavasana. Legs come out nice and wide. allowing the hips to roll open. As your arms come out nice and wide alongside the body, maybe opening up a little bit more. Scoop the shoulder blades underneath you. Having the chest, the heart up towards the sky. Gentle lift to the chin. And once you settle into your space, if you haven't already, close your eyes. Allow all the muscles that surround your eyes, your mouth, your jaw, your neck. Allow everything to soften so your lips are sealed. But there's a space between the bottom and the top of your jaw. And you're feeling the rise and fall of the chest, of the belly. As you come back into that rhythm of that nice and slow, deep breathing cycle here. Feeling all that space that you created within your body. Allowing all that energy to settle in a way that keeps you receptive, keeps you open. Allowing that energy to slowly surge through your body. Whether it eventually settles for you to transition into the rest of your day or prepares you for that activity you're getting ready to transition into. Whatever it may be. And give yourself the opportunity to stay here for at least 5-10 more breaths to really tune into that cycle of the inhales, expanding the ribcage, the exhales, clearing everything out. Continuing to allow your body to soften and fall a little bit heavier into the earth. And after those cycles of breath, I hope you feel ready to take on the rest of your day, take on whatever activity lies ahead. As always, thank you so much for coming to practice with me, and I look forward to seeing y'all next time. Have an awesome rest of your day.